All right, so a very good evening, one and all. Welcome to Mr. Yen's P4 Math GenieClass on a Monday at 6:30 p.m. How's everyone feeling today? What are we learning today? Now, last week, we have learned how to perform multiplication, especially for two-digit by two-digit number, right? I hope you all go and digest what you have learned in the last lesson on this, because today we are moving away from multiplication already. We are going to do division, okay? So in P3 last year, what have you learned for division last year in P3? Let me think. Last year, if I'm not wrong, you guys have learned how to perform division within, right, the multiplication table. Like, for example, what is 18 divided by 9? Or let's say, what is 24 divided by 8? Right, things like that within the multiplication table. And of course, yes, some of you tell me about long division. Right, you guys have also learned how to perform long division up to 3-digit by 1-digit. Okay, so 3-digit by 1-digit. So up to that, right? Okay, so in P4, well, we are still going to do long division, but we are going to work on 4 digits by 1-digit. Okay, division of 4-digit number by a 1-digit number. Okay, so we're not going to deal with division by a 2-digit number or 3-digit number, right? It's still division by a 1-digit number, okay? Performing the long division. So do you guys still remember how to do your long division? So what I usually will, teach my students about long division is to think about your family members. Why do I say think about your family members? Because who are the people in your family? You have your daddy, you have your mommy, all right? Then maybe some of you have your brother, either your elder brother or your younger brother. Sorry, not brother first, sister first. Sorry, sister first. Maybe you have your elder sister or your younger sister. Then you also have your younger brother or your elder brother. Now, why is Mr. Yan talking about family members when we are learning about division, right? Because if you remember your family members consisting of your daddy, your mommy, your sister, or your brother, then you know what are the 4 steps to doing long division. No calculators, all right? No calculators for today, okay? So you'll remember how to perform your long division, right? Because D stands for divide, all right? First step, we're going to divide. I'll show you later with the recap. Then M for multiply, that's the step number 2. Step 3, S. Yes, very good. Some of you already know. Subtract. Then what's B? B for? Yep, bring down the next digit. Yes, right? Bring down the next digit. All right. So this is the way to doing long division. And of course, we'll repeat this whole process again, right? Of daddy, mommy, sister, and brother, right? When we are doing our long division. Okay, yes, thank you for all those who are already told me about what B actually stands for. Okay, so let's do a recap. Okay, in case some of you have forgotten how to do long division using this daddy, mommy, sister, brother method. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. All right, so if I have 482 divide by 2, so we will put 482 inside first. Then we will put 2 outside. Now, 2 here is actually your, what's the name given to this number 2? Do you all know? It starts with the letter D. Do you all know what is the name given to this? This number 2 is known as your divisor. It's the number that you divide with. Okay? Now, then to perform the long division, let's start with D first. Daddy. So D, we will start from the leftmost digit, right? 4. So we will take 4, divide by 2 first. So if you go through your multiplication table, yes, 4 can be divided by 2, and we will get 2 as the quotient. All right, so the number that we put here will be your quotient. Take note of all these terms here. Quotient. Okay, so that's your D, divide. Now next, multiply, right? Your mommy, multiply. So what do we multiply? We will multiply this divisor with my quotient. So 2 times 2 gives us 4. Okay, then after mommy, we have sister, subtract. Okay, so we will do the subtraction here. So 4 minus 4 is 0. Okay, then finally, B for bring the next digit down. Okay, so we'll bring down the next digit, which is 8. And then we repeat the whole process again. Okay, of DMSB, daddy, mommy, sister, brother. Okay, so D, divide 2. Sorry, not 2. What am I talking about? 4, right? 4. Okay, 8 divided by 2 is 4. Then next, multiply. 4 multiplied by 2 gives us 8. Okay, then next, subtract. So 8 minus 8 gives us 0. Next, bring down the next digit again. So your B. Well, the last thing we need to do is to take 2 and divide by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. Okay, and then multiply 1 by 2, we get 2, subtract, and finally, we get 0. Nothing more to divide. Okay, so therefore, the answer to this question, which a lot of you have already given me in the chat, it's 241. All right, so 241 is your quotient. Right, and this question here has got no remainder, right? Remember, we have also done in P3 last year how to perform division with remainder, right? So later on, we'll be trying out some questions with remainder as well. Okay, so I hope you know where to find the remainder in the sum, all right? So you'll most likely find a remainder here, right? If let's say after you subtract, and then there is leftover, this is where you find your remainder. But of course, for this question, there is no remainder. All right, there's no remainder for this 482 divided by 2. Okay, okay. So with that, do you think you guys are ready for your first bubble question? Very fast, huh? 9 minutes into the lesson, we have one bubble question ready. Okay, so get ready your pencil and your pen, or your pencil or pen together with your paper. All right. So your first bubble question is this. Okay, so I want you to do the following division of 721 divided by 7. So which is the correct answer? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? Okay, so I'll give you 1 minute for this. Okay, and your time begins now. Okay, so for my new friends, right now you should see 4 buttons appearing on the right-hand corner of your screen, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you just need to press the correct button, okay, to earn your bubbles. What is 721 divided by 7? Okay, so let's do the daddy, mommy, sister, brother technique, okay, your family members. Okay, so starting from the first digit on the left, 7. All right, so first thing we need to do is to divide. 7 divided by 7 is 1. Okay, now then we multiply. Next one, mommy, M, multiply. So 1 multiplied by 7 give us 7. Okay, then subtract. Next, 7 minus 7, 0. Okay, then we bring down the next digit, 2. Now, this is the part whereby I think for those who click number 1 as the answer, right, you'll probably make a mistake over here. So you notice that 2, right, when I bring the next digit 2 down, now, if you take a look at this, 2 divided by 7. Now, 2 is a number smaller than 7. So we cannot perform the division of 2 divided by 7. Imagine I got 2 apples. How do I split these 2 apples among 7 people? If each student or each child were to get 1 complete apple, I'm not going to cut the apple or anything, right? If there are 2 apples and there are 7 kids, how am I going to share it? I can't. All right, so I'll put a 0 here. So a lot of you probably forgot to put a 0 here, right? That's why you put the answer as number 1 instead, right? But take note of this. So then next thing, multiply. 0 multiplied by 7 is 0. Then subtract 2. Now bring down the last digit 1. So here, 21. 21 divided by 7. Yes, we can do that because it's in your multiplication table of 7. So 3. So 7 times 3 is 21. Subtract, we have 0. So the answer is number 3. All right. Good job for all those who have picked the correct answer. Now, are you guys ready for the next question? This time round, there will be remainder. Take note of that. There will be remainder. Let me remind you first. Okay, so let's take a look at your recap question 2A. Now, this is the one that I need you to perform. What is 965 divided by 8? And take note, I just need the quotient. Okay, I just need the quotient only. All right, I'm not asking for the remainder yet. I only want the quotient. Okay, so I will give you 1 minute for this. Oh no, there is a mistake in the solution. Okay, never mind, I'll end the question first. Sorry about that. I think there's an issue with the solution for this. Okay, never mind. I'll see how I can add back these 5 bubbles for everyone, okay? Sorry about that. Okay, now, I'll return you all these 5 bubbles later on, okay? I'll return you all these 5 bubbles later on. Okay, okay, this question here, sorry about the wrong solution, okay? The correct answer should actually be number 4. Yes, I see a lot of you press number 4, then asking me, why is it the wrong answer? Okay, number 4 is the correct answer. Number 4 is the correct answer. Let's go through this together, okay? 965 divided by 8. Okay, calm down. Okay, I'll try my best to return you all these 5 bubbles later, okay? Okay, 965 divided by 8. So same thing, let's start with the digit on the left, okay, 9. So 9 divided by 8, you know that, well, if I have, let's say, 9 apples and I want to share it among 8 kids, so each kid will receive 1 apple, but there will be leftover, all right? So 9 divided by 8 is 1, but I know that when I multiply 8 by 1, I get 8, right? Subtract, I'll have 1 left over. Okay, I'll have 1 left over. So then I bring down the next digit, 6. All right, now 16 divided by 8, well, this one will give me 2. Right, now 2 multiplied by 8 is 16. Subtract, 0. Bring down the last digit, 5. Okay, now 5 is smaller than 8, so 5 cannot be divided by 8. So I need to put a 0 here. Okay, then multiply 0 by 8 is 0. Okay, now I have no more numbers to bring down, so I'll stop. Okay, so yeah, sorry about that. The correct answer should be number 4. Okay, I'll go and correct that later on and see if I can return you guys your 5 bubbles later. Okay, okay, so for this one, answer should be number 4. Now, can you all guess what your next question is already? I think the solution is already there. It will be a giveaway for the next one. What is the remainder? Yes, the next question will be asking on what is the remainder. You guys ready? Now, your time begins now. Can you tell me your remainder? Okay, so let me just copy this solution. All right. Now, can you see what's the remainder? Here is your remainder. Can you see that? Right, the remainder of this division sum is actually 5. The answer is 1. Okay. All right. Now let's go on to the next part of today's lesson. Right. All these are just recap. Right. We are just recapping what you have learned in P3 last year of division of a 3-digit number by a 1-digit number. All right. So let's take a look at division of 4-digit number by a 1-digit number. All right. So this is what you're going to learn in P4 this year. Right. So no difference in the method. We are still going to use the family members, your daddy, mommy, sister, and brother, okay, to go and do your long division for this. Okay, so let's say I have this 4-digit number, 4,824 divided by 2. Okay, so same thing here. Let's do our long division. We put 4,824 inside with the divisor 2. Okay, with the divisor 2 on the outside. All right, so if I were to do again your daddy, mommy, sister, brother, D for divide. Okay, so 4 divided by 2, right, gives us 2 as the quotient. Multiply 2 by 2, we get 4. Subtract 0. Okay, now then bring down the next digit, 8. Then we repeat the whole cycle again of daddy, mommy, sister, brother, right? D for divide. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. Then multiply 4 by 2 is 8. So subtract 0. Bring down the next digit, 2. Okay, now 2 divided by 2, yep, easy, that's 1. Then multiply 1 by 2, we get 2. Subtract 0. And finally, we bring down the last digit, 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Right, so multiply, subtract, and we have no remainder. Right, so we can stop here. Okay, because we cannot bring down any more other digits. Okay, so we will stop there. Right, so therefore the quotient, right? So again, this is known as your quotient. So the quotient for this is 2,412. Okay, so you guys are so good, right? I see a lot of you already type in the answer while I'm going through the steps for performing a long division. Okay, so I think you guys are ready for your next bubble question. Am I right to say that? Okay, so are you guys ready for your bubble question? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so your bubble question is this. Very simple, huh? Very simple, but I think some of you can do it mentally, but some of you prefer just to do it on a piece of paper. Go ahead. Okay, so what is 6,009 divided by 3? So you have 1 minute and your time begins now. Right, so the answer is indeed 2003. Okay, so go ahead and perform your long division. All right, do it for yourself. Anybody needs me to go through this on the division? Your daddy, mommy, sister, brother? No? All right, so if no problem, let's move on to the next question. All right, but if you have a problem, like, Mr. Yan, how do I do 6,009 divided by 3? Please let me know. Please sound up to me, all right? Okay, I'll probably go through the harder ones, right? This one I think is pretty simple, okay? Okay, now let's go on to what happens if the answer is this. Now, I want you to just type in the answer for me, okay? There's no options for this. Can you just type in the answer for this question? What is 8,012 divided by 4? I want to see what your answer is. Yes, let me see. Wow, so many different answers. I have answers like 203. I have answers like 103. I also got answers like 2003. Ooh, some said 2000, 2030. Wow, so many different answers. Let me just write down all the answers that I see right now. I have 2003. I have 2030. I have 203, 2030, 2003. I've also got 4003. 403. Wow, so many different answers. What's going on? Okay, some said 2004. Oh, 2004. Okay, all these different answers. Why? Why so many answers stem up from this one question? Something must be wrong, right? Now let's take a look at the method. Okay, 8012. Now I guess some of you do it mentally, right? Maybe that's why some said 2003, some said 203, some said 2030. Okay, so if you take a look at 8,012 divided by 4, right? Put a divisor outside. Now let's do it step by step. Okay, one number by one number, starting from the left. Okay, so 8 divided by 4, right? Go through your multiplication table of 4, right? It is 2. Then multiply. 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract 0. Now bring down the next digit. Okay, so we have 0 again. So 0, can I take 0 and divide by 4? No, I can't, right? Because 0 is a number smaller than 4. So I'll put down 0 here in the hundreds place. Okay, then we multiply. 0 multiply 4. And that gives me 0 once again. Subtract. So 0 minus 0, of course, is 0. Now bring down the next digit. 1. Okay, now when you bring down the next digit 1, now 1 again is smaller than 4, so I cannot perform the division of 1 by 4. So again, I put down a 0 here. Okay, then multiply. 0 by 4 is 0. Subtract, and finally we bring down the last digit 2. Okay, so lastly 12 divided by 4 is 3. So multiply, subtract, and see what's the quotient. It's 2003, not 203, and it's also not 2030, right? So for those who do it mentally, this is where careless mistakes come in, right? And that's where in the exam, right, highly likely you'll miss that 1 mark or 2 marks in your exam. Okay, so always go back to doing your long division. Okay, try not to do everything mentally. You can always do long division to check your answer. Okay, all right, so let's take a look at your next bubble question. All right, your next bubble question, here you go. Okay, so again, try to do your long division. I know some of you very good in your mental calculations, but you can always use your long division to check your answer. Okay, check your answer. Okay, so you have 1 minute for this question. 5,525 divided by 5. Okay, so you have 1 minute and your time begins now. All right, so time is up. Let's see how many of you got it correct. Whoa, same as the previous question. I have around 220 plus students that got the correct answer. Great job, great job. Okay, so the answer to this question is 1,105. Okay, I see some of you actually press number 2, 115. Same thing, right? For those who probably work using mental calculation, you thought, 5 divided by 5 is 1, 5 divided by 5 is 1, then you see 25, right? Then you think 25 divided by 5 is 5. So then, oh, the answer must be number 2. No, please, right? Go and do your long division, okay? If you need to check your answer, okay? So if you do your long division, I'll just speed up a bit. 5525 divided by 5. Okay, I'll just do it quickly like this. This is the part. Okay, when I bring down the digit 2, take note, 2 divided by 5, cannot, 2 is smaller than 5. Okay, so I'll put a 0 here above the tens place. Okay, then multiply, subtract, and bring down the last digit. Okay, so finally we have 25 divided by 5, which is 5. Okay, so that's why the answer should be 1,105 and not 115. Okay, for those who do it probably mentally, right? This is where you make careless mistakes. Okay, all right, so are we allowed to do one digit at a time? Yeah, preferably one digit at a time. Bring down one digit at a time and do it. Okay, so next, let's see, is it the next bubble question already? Okay, yep, next bubble question. Okay, so here is your next bubble question. All right, get ready your pencil, get ready your pen or your paper, but not calculators. I hope no one is using calculators to solve all these questions. Okay, all right, now what is 5,649 divided by 7? Okay, so same thing. All right, do your long division as much as you can. Right, if you're doing it mentally, then still go and do your long division to check your answer. Okay, so for this question, same thing, 1 minute. Okay, still good. You are consistent throughout. I also have around 220 plus students who got the correct answer. Good. All right, so let's go through this. So the answer to this bubble question 3 is actually 807. Okay, so for the, let me see, for the 30 plus students who didn't get the correct answer, okay, so this is how you do it. Same thing, I'll just, fast forward a bit. So 5,649 divided by 7. Okay, so one digit by one digit. Okay, let's do it one digit by one digit. So starting from the thousands place, 5. Okay, so 5 divided by 7. So, see again, this is a number smaller than 7, smaller than the divisor. So I cannot, right? So make sure you put a 0 above the thousands place. This is very important. Okay, put a 0 above the thousands place. Okay, then multiply, subtract, bring down the next digit. Okay, now 56 divided by 7. Yes, we can do that because 56 is in the multiplication table of 7. I know that 7 multiplied by 8 will give me 56. Okay, subtract, bring down the next digit, 4. Okay, so things again, 4 divided by 7. Now 4 is once again smaller than the divisor 7. I cannot do the division. I'll put a 0 above the tens place. This is the one that is important also. Okay, some students forgot about this 0 here. Okay, so multiply, subtract, bring down the last digit. Now 49 divided by 7. Yes, we can do that, right? Because 49 again is in your multiplication table of 7, right? 7 times 7 is 49. So no remainder for this. So the answer is 807. Okay. Zachary asked how many students are there in this class. There are about 280 students in this class right now. Okay. Okay, now let's go on to your next question. Now we're going to deal with remainder. Do you think you guys are ready for the remainder question? Let's try this out together. Okay, this one is not a bubble question, but let's try this out together as a whole class. Okay, let's try this out as a whole class. Okay, so 2,989 divided by 4 will give us a quotient together with a remainder. So this time round, we need to find out what the remainder is. Okay, so let's work out the long division, all right? 2,989 divided by 4. Okay, so again, let's start from the leftmost digit, the digit 2 that is in the thousands place. So again, 2 is a number smaller than 4. So we cannot perform the division of 2 by 4. So first thing first, we put a 0 above the thousands place like this. Okay, then multiply. All right, 0 times 4 is 0. Subtract. Now let's bring down the next digit. 9. What is 29 divided by 4? Can you tell me? What is 29 divided by 4? Okay, yes, thank you, Zichen. Some say 8. Why 8? Just now you said 7, you are correct. Okay, 7. Okay, so 7 times 4 is 28. Of course, there will be left over. When I subtract, I get 1. Okay, now let's bring down the next digit, 8. 18 divided by 4. So what do I get as the quotient? Yep, 4. Okay, so 4 times 4 would give me 16. Once again, with leftover. Okay, then finally, we bring down the last digit, 9. 29 divided by 4. 7 again. Right? 7 times 4 is 28. And I have no more other numbers to bring down, so I will stop. So your quotient, right? So again, take note, this is your quotient, would be 747. And my remainder, what's my remainder? Can you tell me in the chat? What's the remainder? Okay, your remainder is here. All right, so I'll put down here, 747, remainder 1. Yep, and thank you for all those who type in 1 in the chat, right? Jody, Claire, N.E., Huo Qi, Louis, okay, Zichen, thank you, Nathan as well, okay, yep. All right, so I think again, you guys are ready for your bubbles question, okay? All right, so your next bubble question, or anyone else has any question regarding this before I move on? Anyone? No? If you have any question, feel free to stop me, okay? Say, Mr. Yan, can you repeat again or can you explain again, right? So let me know if you need me to stop, okay? All right, if not, I'll move on to your bubble question number 4A. 4A. So that means it must be a 4B, right? Okay, so now question 4A. So I need you to perform this long division of 7,268 divided by 8. Right? So I already give you a clue. There is a quotient, there is a remainder. But for bubble question 4A, I'm only looking out for the quotient. All right, I'm only looking out for the quotient. Okay. All right, so for this, I think you all need more time, right? Okay, I wouldn't launch it yet. I want you all to work it out first, then I'll launch it. Okay, because I think some of you didn't have enough time to solve the question. Okay, so I'll give you about another 10 more seconds before I launch, right? Okay, let's see how many of you got this correct. There is a decrease in the number of students, right, who got this question correct. What's wrong? Okay, so let's go through this. 7,268 divided by 8. Okay, so same thing. Let's start from the leftmost digit, 7. Right? Can you see 7 is smaller than 8? I cannot do the division of 7 by 8. So I'll first put down a 0 here in the thousands place. Okay, then multiply. 0 multiplied by 8 is 0. Subtract. Let's bring down the next digit, 2. Okay, now 72 divided by 8. Well, yes, 72 is in the multiplication table of 8. Right? I know that 9 multiplied by 8 is 72. Okay, so subtract 0. Bring down the next digit, 6. Okay, so 6 again, smaller than 8. You cannot do the division of 6 by 8. So put down a 0 here in the tens place. Okay, take note of that. Then multiply, subtract, and we bring down the last digit, 68. Okay, so then we think of the multiplication table of 8. What is 68 divided by 8 equal to? What is the quotient? So I go through my multiplication table, right? 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 50, 48, 56, then 64. I'm reaching 68, but I'm already at 64. So I know that 8 times 8 is 64. Okay, I'll not do the subtraction. I think you all know the subtraction yourself. So the answer to this is number 2, 908. So are you guys ready for your question 4B? Question 4B is, what is the remainder? Okay, I think you only need 2 seconds to answer this, right? Okay, so your time begins now. Okay, so let's go through this together. I'm surprised. How come only 145 of you got this question correct? Okay, now let me just go back to the previous one. Can you see? So when I do the last subtraction, 68 minus 64, what do I get? 4. All right, and then I cannot bring down any other digits already, right? So therefore, I'll stop. 4 here is my remainder. Okay, so the answer to this bubble question 4A is number 4. 4 is the remainder. So that means to say the answer to this is 908 remainder 4. Okay, 908 remainder 4. Okay, so please brush up your long division, especially for questions on remainder. Okay, okay, let's go on to the next question. Okay, let's go on to the next question. Today is just doing a lot of questions. Okay, okay, so this is your bubble question number 5. Okay, so now I'm not going to split into, one question on quotient, one question on remainder. Okay, so this question, put everything together. I want to know what's the quotient, what's the remainder. All right. Okay, so 6,572 divided by 8. What is the answer for this? Okay, so 1 minute for this. Anyone thinks that you need more time? What is the correct answer? I think many of you already got it. The answer is number 2, 821 remainder 4. So again, let me just quickly show you the workings, right? I'll speed up a little. 6572 divided by 8. So subtract, bring down the next number, multiply, subtract. All right, then bring down the next. Did I do it correctly? No, I didn't do it correctly. Let me rewind. What am I doing? Aish, must be my hunger. Okay, right? So 0, bring down, 6, bring down the next digit, 8, 64, subtract, bring down the next digit, 2, multiply, subtract, bring down the next number, 12, divide, subtract. There you have it. Okay. Sorry, I'm too hungry already. I cannot think. Okay. All right. So the answer is 821 is the quotient, and my remainder is here. Okay, this is my remainder. My remainder is 4. Okay, 821 remainder 4. Yes, Claire, M's for multiply. But of course, if you want to use it to remember your steps to solving long division, it's your family member, right? Daddy, mommy, sister, brother, DMSB. Divide, multiply, subtract, and then later on, bring down the next digit. Okay? I see a lot of you say you're hungry as well. Okay, okay. Right? You can actually eat your dinner as you're, doing your work, isn't it? Okay, now let's go on to the next question. This time around, we're going to reverse the process. I'm going to tell you what's the quotient and what's the remainder. Are you able to work out the original number that I divide 8 by? Okay, so let's take a look at this example first. Okay, I know some of you have forgotten how to solve this kind of questions, but it's important. Okay, it's important. Okay, so let's take a look at this example first. Now I have blank divided by 8 gives me 183 as the quotient and 5 as the remainder. Okay, so how do I solve this question over here? Now you can think of it this way. When I divide this number by 8, or let's say when I split this into groups of 8, I will have 183 groups of 8, something like this, okay? 8, 8, 8, and so on. I have 183 groups. Okay, so this is my quotient. I know that when I divide this number by 8, right, or when I split this number into groups of 8, I'll have 183 groups at first, but with leftover. okay, which is my remainder. I have 5 left over. Okay, so how do I know what is the original number that I have at first? So first thing you need to do is, let's find out how many are there in this 183 groups. Okay, so I will take 183 multiplied by 8, right? Because I have 183 groups of 8. So 183 multiplied by 8. So in other words, you are taking your quotient and you multiply back your divisor. Okay, we do the backwards method. You take the quotient, multiply back by your divisor. So we will get 1464. Okay, so we're going to do your multiplication. Right? We're going to do this. Sorry. 64, 66. Yep. 1464. Okay, now after you have found out what is the number in 183 groups of 8, don't forget I still have the leftover of 5. I need to add back my leftover of 5 so that I know what's the total. Okay, so I'll take 1464 plus 5. I'll get 1469. So the answer to this is 1469. Okay, so is everyone clear how to work out the solution to this question? When you're given the divisor, the quotient, and the remainder, how do you work out the original number? Okay, so first take the quotient, multiply back your divisor. After that, add the remainder, add the leftover. Okay, all right, so with that, let's take a look at your bubble question number 6. Okay, so like what I did just now for the example question, now blank divided by 6, I get 214 as the quotient and 3 as the remainder. So can you work out what is the original number? Okay, so recall what I did for the example just now. All right, work out the answer for this. Okay, yes, Ethan, just now the answer was 1469. That is correct. Okay. Okay, so for this, I will give you 1.5 minutes. Okay, I'll give you 1.5 minutes and your time begins now. That's not the way to do it. Okay, you do not take the quotient plus the remainder, then multiply by the divisor. Okay, that's not the way. You should take the quotient, right? This one, multiply back your divisor first, right? Because you have 214 groups of 6, right? Because you take the original number, I divide by 6 or I split into groups of 6. So I have 214 groups of it. So the first thing you need to do is, take 214, multiply by 6 first. Okay, so you do your working this way. Okay, so you have 1,284. Right? Now then, after you have worked out what's 214 groups of 6, do not forget, you still have 3 left over. So you need to add back the 3, right, to the answer. So 1284 plus 3. So it will get 1287. So the answer is 1287. All right, which means the answer is option number 4. Okay. Daniel, so you multiply then add. So multiply the quotient by your divisor. Then you add back your remainder. Okay. Okay, so bubble question 7. Now the question is phrased a little differently. Okay, so it says here, when a number is divided by 4, it gives a quotient of 121 and the remainder is 1. Okay, the remainder is 1. Here. In case you all didn't see where the remainder is. Okay, let me highlight to you. Okay, what is the number? Okay, so similar to bubble question 6 actually, but just now we give you the equation, we give you the sentence, but this time around I give you as a word problem. Okay, so I want you to work out the answer for this, and here goes. Okay, so if you were to write it out like just now for bubble question 6, it is like this, right? The number divided by 4 gives you a quotient of 121 and with a remainder of 1. Okay, so this is what the sentence means. All right, time is up. Okay, not to worry if you didn't get this correct because we have another question following this. similar, right? Similar one. Okay, so what you need to do for this first, right? Now, take the quotient, multiply back your divisor. Okay, we do the opposite. Okay, we do the multiplication. So I'll take 121, multiply by 4. All right, so do your multiplication on a piece of paper like this. And after you know what is 121 groups of 4, which is 484, now add back your remainder of 1. Okay, so 484 plus 1. So that's 485. Okay, so the answer is number 3. Somebody said that I didn't tell you the remainder. Ryan Chua, I highlighted, see. Can you see where my cursor is? There, here's the remainder. Can you see that? The remainder is 1. Okay, now let's go on to bubble question 8. All right. Yeah, the answer is 485, not 484. Okay, because you need to add back the remainder of 1. It's here. The question says the remainder is 1. Okay, I highlighted it here. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. Question number 8. Wow, this one will be challenging. Okay. This question is worth 15 bubbles. Okay, so read the question carefully. Now it says here, when a number is divided by 7, the quotient is 154 and the remainder is 4. Now, what is the remainder now when this same number is divided by 6? Now, do you all understand what this question is? Okay, let me just write it down. So basically, it says that I have a number. When this number is divided by 7, I get a quotient of 154 and a remainder of 4. Okay, now when I take this same number and I divide by 6, I want to know what is the remainder. This is what I want to find. Okay, this is what I want to find. Okay, yep, I'll give you time. I know this is not easy. It will take some time for you to work out the answer, and it's worth 15 bubbles. Okay, so definitely I want you all to get the answer correct and earn your 15 bubbles. Okay. Okay, so I will have 2 minutes for this. Okay, 2 minutes, and your time begins now. Okay, time is up. All right. Okay, so let's go through this together. Now let's work out what the number is. What's this mystery number? So do the same thing. Take the quotient, multiply back your divisor. Okay, so 154 multiplied by 7. Right, we get 1078. Then we add back the remainder. So 1078 plus 4 is 1082. So my mystery number is actually 1082. So then we just need to perform the division of 1082 by 6. Okay, so I'll speed up. Okay, so okay. Hey, sorry. Yep. Okay, so the remainder is 2, right over here. The remainder is 2. And yes, some of you already realized, out of the 4 options, there's only one option that is a small number, right? The rest are all big numbers. How can they be the remainder, right? So imagine if I didn't circle the question mark there, some of you probably will go and pick number 1, right, as the answer, right? If I'm not wrong. Okay. Okay, the last question for today. Okay, your 20 bubbles question. But I think should be okay lah. I think you all should be able to get this correct. Okay, so this is a challenge question. I'll just start the time. Okay, you all just work it out. Right, this is a 20 bubbles questions. Can you work out the answer for this? Okay, so you just need to work out what is the circle first, right? From the first sentence, all right, circle times 8 is 32. So think of your multiplication table of 8. I know that 4 times 8 is 32, right? So if circle is 4, you can work out what is the star, right? Because 4 multiplied by star gives me 2048. So just do the opposite, do the backward one. Do this, right? Do your division. You will know what the star is. Then once you know what the star is, then you just need to take the value of the star plus the same number, the value of the star. You'll get your answer. Okay? Okay, last 9 seconds. Whoever still want to grab this 20 bubbles. All right. Last chance. 3, 2, 1, and time is up. Okay, so good job for those who got your 20 bubbles. All right, so if you're going to work out your division, you should get the star as 512. Okay, so therefore 512 plus 512 is 1024. So the answer is number 4. Okay, all right, so that's the last question that I have for you guys today. Right, so hopefully, right, you have earned your bubbles. Right? But at the same time, we have learned how to perform division of a 4-digit number by a 1-digit number. Okay.